Oh, jammy Dodgers. I've got 2 left. Better not go live. I should be live. I don't think I am. Oh, I am. Hello, everybody. Sorry. Got something in my mouth. That's what she said. How are we all doing? Looking forward to this afternoon. It's a threesome, but we're not getting involved in a threesome because ultimately I think Liverpool will batter Burnley. So we're focusing on Newcastle's home game against Aston Villa and Wolves against Spurs, which has big connotations in relation to the Premier League top 4 race. A massive win for Arsenal against Wolves on Thursday, which we watched. So we'll see how Spurs get onto it today. And he's going to start Batanka, and no place for Højbjerg. He's going to start Winks. No surprise he's dropped that Emerson. He's shit. He really is shit. So, yeah. And Wolves' team is Sarr, Semedo, Altnori, Says, Cody, Kilman, Dendonka, Kundal, Podence, Jimenez, and Neves. Spurs need to win this, really. They really do. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, Super Bowl Sunday. I'm in a good mood. It's Super Bowl Sunday, and I cannot wait for the Super Bowl tonight. So I hope you're going to tune in for that Super Bowl Sunday tonight on this channel. So make sure you subscribe. If you've never watched the Super Bowl before, what I would advise you to do is when you're settling down at the end of your Sunday night and you're thinking what to watch. Shall I go and watch some porn or shall I just watch a film? Just go on YouTube and just watch That's Football, Goldbridge, with all the extras, headphones and everything, NFL Super Bowl. And I guarantee you next year you'll go, that Super Bowl ain't that bad. I might watch it again. I might watch the playoffs, which is what I did this year. Hadn't watched NFL for about 10 years, really. Watched the Super Bowl last year because I was paid to do it by Paddy Power. And I'm being honest. You know, the thing about me is I will be honest. If you want an honest answer on this industry I work in, I will give you the honest answer on anything you want. But honestly, I watched the Super Bowl last year because I got paid to do it. I was on the Paddy Power channel. And I enjoyed it. I had a great night. The chat was brilliant. Blinded by the lights, says Sherman. And then this year I've been watching it a lot more. And I watched most of the playoffs. And I've really enjoyed it. So I can't wait from a stream point of view. I can't wait. But from a game point of view, I'm really looking forward to it. I think I want the Bengals to win, but I don't mind. I don't mind the Rams winning, but I'd love the Bengals to win it because I love that song, Eternal Flame. But so there you go. Right. Anyway, I'm looking forward to these games today. Villa have been very good. I think Villa are more about. I tell you what, my setup's brilliant today. I've got basically I've put one of the TVs on a bin, so it's higher, and I've got 2 like that. So it's really good. I don't know why I've never thought about doing this before. I actually like the height of that. I'm going to do it in future for United because it's just better for my neck to be looking up. I can see more. Spurs are going to bottle Arsenal at 4th and Arsenal get 4th. I'm sure we'll be talking about that, Gilberto. We will be doing at half-time. Goldbridge Super Bowl watch-along is better than porn, says Ian. Ian's words, not mine. But we will be doing it at half-time. We'll be doing the either-ors again because I know people loved that. You can vote for those. If you want an example of how they work... you know, you go like this. It's going to hit the chat now. It's just one off the top of my head, but I do loads of these at half time. So there you go. Ask your community, either or. I've given you 2 players. Vote for the one that you would prefer. Right, let me just whack a tweet out. Hope everyone's looking forward to the Super Bowl tonight. But if you're not looking forward to the Super Bowl, I hope you're looking forward to this. It's going to be interesting. I actually had a lovely message yesterday. I wish I could shout the person out, but I don't remember who it was. It could be you. They messaged me yesterday and they said, "I've seen you on Twitter. You're clearly watching the Everton game. Why didn't you do a watch-along for it? I'm searching around for a watch-along to watch, and everyone is shit apart from yours. It makes me really appreciate how good your watch-along is." And I thought, that's really nice. Even though you're putting other people down, you're still praising me, which at the end of the day, I can deal with that. So I did watch the Everton game yesterday. I wasn't in the right mood after United's performance to sit and do a fair watch along, so I just didn't bother. But I did watch the game. I was very impressed with Everton. Your great setup is your TV on 2 bins. That sounds rubbish, says Luke. Well, basically it's about height. My TV is normally like that level, and I've put it up so it's higher. So that's my eyeliner for the match is there instead of there, and that just works better. A diagonal up from you to the chat. There you go. Anyway, thanks for the super chats. Please do subscribe, and don't forget tonight it is the Super Bowl watch along, which I just would implore everybody to watch, even if you don't like it, just because it's going to be entertaining. Now, ignore these scores. I'm just filling in the blanks. I'm just setting up, but yeah, I think the Spurs Wolves game to start off with. I mean, look, if Wolves win, they get themselves back in the top 4 race. They do. But if Spurs want to be in the top 4 race, they've got to win. And they were terrible against Southampton, who, to be fair, were good against United as well. So I don't think, if I was a Spurs fan, I'd be like, look, it was disappointing losing to Southampton, but they did deserve to beat you. And they deserved to beat United yesterday, really. I think a draw was about right, but if it was going to go one way, I thought they were the better team. So yeah, Southampton were very good. 2 p.m. kickoff, so we'll be live in 24 minutes. But yeah, I think that they need to win. They need to win. Just on the either or example, we've had over 1,000 votes. Salah's got 87% of the votes. So that's just how it works on the polls. I'll get you some more of those up in a minute. Do you think Arteta is the right man for Arsenal, says Luke Huggan? I think Arsenal are in a good position at the moment. We'll go through the team news now, but we can also look at the league table as well. And I think that Arsenal are in a very good position at the moment because they're in 6th place. They've got 39 points. They've not played this weekend, and they'll still be in 6th place, no matter what. You know, West Ham are playing at 4 o'clock, I think, against Leicester. But it is going to be a very interesting weekend for Arsenal because they've got 3 games in hand on West Ham. Even if West Ham win, West Ham are 5 points ahead of them. They've got 3 games in hand. And I don't think West Ham will beat Leicester this afternoon. So Arsenal have not played this weekend, and they won't lose a position. Spurs can't go above them even if they win. They just go on the same points. And United have only increased their lead over Arsenal by 1 point. And yet Arsenal have got 2 games in hand now. So it's been a good weekend for Arsenal. I mean, technically, Arsenal are the favourites for top 4. They've got the best. You know, over the last 5 games, they've won 3, lost 1, drawn 1. United have won 2, drawn 3. West Ham have won 3, lost 2. And Spurs have lost 2, drawn 1, and won 2. So Arsenal are in the best form. They're not in Europe. It's whether Arsenal can handle the pressure. If Arsenal handle the pressure, they'll get top 4. It's as simple as that. I'm very realistic about it. So I really despise United fans still defending Ronaldo when man was twerking for City and PSG in the summer, says Pod. Okay, what's your opinion? You're not drawing me in, so don't worry about that. Let's go through the team news. Obviously at the other end of the table, just before I do that, because we have got Newcastle against Villa. Villa are very much about next season. It doesn't matter if Villa win their next 10. They're not getting into a European race. They're just too far off. Gerrard's inherited the team too far off. They do have 2 games in hand on most teams ahead of them, but they've got 2 games in hand. Well, look, they've got 2 games in hand on United. If they won those 2 games in hand, they'd still be 8 points off United. So Villa are not getting into anything, as much as I think that. Sorry, I've got a bit of a funny cold at the moment. Gerrard is doing a good job. For Newcastle, they're not in the bottom 3. You know, they're not in the bottom 3, and therefore they, if another win today really starts to open up a bit of a gap. They've got 18 points. Norwich have got 17. Watford have got 15, and Burnley have got 14. And Newcastle have played less games than Norwich and Watford. So if they can get a win today, they've won 2 in a row, Newcastle. If they can get a win today, they're starting to pull out. So I'm interested to see how Newcastle do today, because I think they're going to start to get safe. And if they win today, that gap starts to get big. Burnley are playing Liverpool at 2 o'clock, but they're going to lose that game. You know, I watched United against Burnley. We should have won. There's no way Liverpool won't dispatch them, unfortunately. So there you go, if you're a Burnley fan. So let's go through the 2 teams that we're going to be watching this game for today, and then I can give you the team news from other games that are kicking off at 2 o'clock. Well, Burnley-Liverpool, actually. Let's start off there. Pope, Roberts, Tarkowski, me, Peters, Lennon, Westwood, Brownhill, Cornet, Rodriguez and Weghorst, and McNeil's on the bench for them in that game, which is quite interesting. Then Liverpool, Alisson, Trent, Matip, Van Dijk, Robertson, Henderson, Fabinho, Keita, Salah, Firmino, Mane, arguably their strongest team, although actually you'd probably put Jota in their strongest team. They've got Diaz on the bench as well, Thiago on the bench. They'll have too much for Burnley today, to be honest. I think it's inevitable. Newcastle against Villa. Let's have a look at the team there. Dubravka in goal. Trippier, Burn, Shaw, Manquillo. Obviously, Burn's come in from Brighton. Trippier's come in from Atletico Madrid. Willock, Shelvey, Joel Linton. And then Fraser, Wood and St Maximin. Playing Villa's team of Martinez, Cash, Chambers, Mings and Digne. McGinn, Luis and Ramsey, and then Bendia, Watkins and Coutinho. It's going to be an interesting game, that. It will be a very interesting game, because I think that Villa arguably are the strongest side, and Gerrard obviously looking to get some momentum going ahead of next season. So it'll be an interesting game, that. And then Tottenham Wolves, if you didn't catch the news at the start, Lloris is in goal, Romero, Davinson Sanchez and Davies. Two fullbacks are Doherty and Sessegnon. We watched Spurs against Southampton. Emerson was crap. He had to be dropped. Winks and Bentancur in the midfield, and then Mora, Kane and Son as the front three on their bench. I mean, I'm quite surprised Reguilon's on the bench. I thought Reguilon played quite well against Southampton, but he's on the bench. Højbjerg's on the bench. Emerson's on the bench. Kulevski's on the bench. Bergwijn's on the bench. And then, who are they playing? They're playing Wolves. Sarr, Kilman, Cody, Says, Semedo, Altnouri, Kundel, Neves, Dendoncker, Jimenez and Podence. And on the bench, they've got Hwang Hee-chan is back on the bench for them. Fabio Silva's there, Trincão's there. Obviously, Moutinho, Neto, Johnny. Still a few players out injured for Wolves. But Wolves' problem's scoring goals, ain't it? That's what Wolves' problem is. Scoring goals has always been their problem. Will Forest be in the Premier League next season? Well, they drew, didn't they, yesterday against Stoke? Bloody Stoke. So, yeah. I don't know who's going to get promoted. I've got Sheffield Wednesday versus Rotherham on the telly here, but that's not Championship, is it? That's not Championship. Okay, I'm going to whack a poll for you. We'll do the first one. Is going to be the Newcastle Villa game, so you can vote on that. And then I'll do the others as well. Loving doing the polls. Interactive. That's what a community always should be. We are the interactive community, and I'm sure everyone else will copy us soon. It's funny, actually. I was having a chat last night. I was having a beer last night, and I was having a bit of a chat with someone, and they were on about... They said to me, can you remember when you used to do watch-alongs and everyone said it was a load of shit? And I went, yeah, they all do it now, don't they? Yeah, it's funny, but whatever. I take it as a form of getting the bin, you haters, really, because 2-0. Rotherham, good finish. Get in the bin, Sheffield Wednesday. That's a local derby as well, Rotherham against Sheffield Wednesday. Rotherham's quite close to Sheffield, 2-0. The poll's there. The poll's there. You can get voting on that in the chat. Please share the video and smash a like on the video. And make sure you subscribe. Mark, do you think Ramsey could be called up for the England squad in the near future, says Cormac? I mean, I'm looking forward to watching the Villa game today. I mean, we've got Spurs, Wolves, and we've got Villa, Newcastle. They're the games we'll be monitoring. But I like Ramsey. Played very well against Leeds in the midweek, but I was already impressed with him from the 2 games he played against United in the Cup and the game at Villa Park. I thought he's something special. United's midfield's not anything special, but he really did play very well in those games. So I think he's another really exciting player, and probably the sort of player that England need. I think England have got a lot of 10s, and I think they've got a lot of holding midfielders. You know, when you think about Rice, Phillips, Henderson, but Ramsey's more of a box-to-box, and, you know, Bellingham can do that, but we haven't got loads of those. So Ramsey's one definitely for the future, and I quite like the look of him. Spurs are going to lose, says Nazdin. I think Spurs have got to win today. Yeah, I think Spurs need to get the win today. Super Bowl tonight. I will keep shouting it out. It's coming. I wonder if I can give you a little bit of a teaser for it as well. Probably can. There we go. That's what we'll have on the top. And can I show you what we're going to have on the bottom? Oh, that's what she said. Why has that not worked? Oh, OBS is now deciding to act like a twat. There you go. Get off. It's messing up now. I hope that can come off. Otherwise, it's going to ruin my whole bloody watch along. Right, it won't come off now. I knew I shouldn't have pressed that button. Bloody idiot. There, it's gone. Okay. I don't know what it's doing here. Technology. We're not doing the Super Bowl yet, but I want to show everybody something. There we go. Bit of the background for the Super Bowl. Get ready. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. And I've got my little snack pack that will be going. If you remember the Super Bowl watch along from last year, I basically get a box of American sweets that I have to try. And I've got some really weird ones to try tonight. So it'll keep us going. And sneak as well. Hi, Mark. Would you swap Bruno for Kimmich? Ooh, good question, Cameron. I think at the moment you'd have to consider it. Because then again, if Pogba's going, I wouldn't. But United desperately need a holding midfielder, definitely. We are about 14 minutes away from kickoff. So, yeah, Liverpool, I'd expect them to beat. There's 3 games kicking off at 2 o'clock. We'll keep you up to date with all 3 of them, but 2 of them will be giving you extensive updates on Spurs against Wolves and Newcastle against Villa. I think Liverpool are going to beat Burnley, just to spend a minute on Liverpool. Very strong Liverpool side. I think Man City and Liverpool are almost getting to the point where they were 3 years ago, was it? Where they basically nearly won every single game for about 4 months. I think that they are so much better than everybody else, and they're looking very, very strong. And I think, having watched Burnley against United on Tuesday night, they're very honest. They'll work really hard, but a decent team would have been 3-0 up against Burnley at half time. And United, I just think Liverpool could win that 3 or 4-0. I'd be very impressed with Burnley if they don't get done today. Hope Donny leaves United when he returns from his loan. Heard he was incredible, says Fantasy Games. Yeah, I don't know whether we've got any Everton fans, but I watched it yesterday. It's only his first game. And, Arsenal fans will say Willian was good on his first game, and he was. I think it was against Fulham. So, look, he's got to do it week in, week out. But he's got a point to prove, and he'll get fitter and fitter. Your thoughts on how Maguire will do for England this winter? Seems to be better for them than United. Perhaps Southgate has the magic formula for him, says the Cuda. Well, I can give you the magic formula for Harry Maguire. Zane Miasi's here. Thank you very much, Zane, for the super chat. As I said, as an Arsenal fan, it's been a good weekend so far. You're not playing, and everyone else really isn't taking advantage. I don't think West Ham are going to win, and if Spurs don't win, it's a good weekend for Arsenal considering they're not playing. The Harry Maguire thing is very easy to solve. The magic formula for Harry Maguire, if you want him to play well, is to play a deep line with 2 holding midfielders in front of him, which is what Ollie did. Took your fullbacks in and he never gets exposed. Maguire gets exposed when he gets left 1-for-1, which is what happened yesterday, what happened against Burnley. If you want to be a top side, then you need 2 centre-backs like Van Dijk and Matip. That's what you need. And Maguire's not a good centre-back in those circumstances. So for England, he'll play in a back 5, won't he, with 2 holding midfielders. That's what Southgate does. So, if you want to play a back 5 with 2 holding midfielders or a back 4 with 2 holding midfielders and a deep line, Harry Maguire's a decent centre-back. If you want to win a title and get your centre-back to defend in 2 centre-backs with a high line, he's screwed. Simple as that. Chances of United bouncing back in the next game, says David. Well, we're the kings of inconsistency, David, so we're capable of going and beating Liverpool at Anfield. I don't think that will ever happen, but we're certainly capable of going and beating Brighton, Atletico Madrid and Leeds. But then we'll probably lose to Watford. That's what we are. That's what inconsistency is. No football for us Arsenal fans this yet, but I've been staying up till midnight to watch our rivals bottle it up the Wolves, says Ian Pleasance. And what's your thoughts on Hazard at Chelsea, says Jack. He was a good player at Chelsea. I don't think he's going back though, is he? But yeah, he was a good player at Chelsea. I'll give him that. So I've done the Villa game. Let's have a look what we've got people saying here. So we've had 3,000 votes on this. Newcastle to win 28%, draw 16%, and Villa to win 56%. So we'll end that poll and we'll do the next one. So who's played in this one? Spurs, draw, and add an option. Wolves, get voting. It's in the chat. Zed Jamie says, who's your 3 to go down? Sadly, Burnley, Norwich, and you know what? I still do think Brentford could go down. Yeah, I'm going to still stay Brentford. I mean, it's a big, big drop for Brentford to drop down. But Burnley have got 5 games in hand on Brentford. And yeah, I think Brentford could still go down. 25 games. It's whether Norwich, Watford or Burnley can catch Brentford. That's the thing. 24 points. Burnley are 10 points behind them with 5 games in hand. Watford are 9 points behind them with 2 games in hand. And Norwich are 7 points behind. Norwich won't catch them. Watford or Burnley could catch Brentford. But realistically, it's probably going to be the bottom 3 that it is now, said Jamie, to be fair. I think Newcastle are going to stay up now. I think they've brought enough players in that they should get enough to stay up. I worry about Watford. I think Roy Hodgson as the coach is a bit of an odd move, to be honest. It feels a little bit like getting Sam Allardyce. He's the new Sam Allardyce, isn't he? Let's get Roy Hodgson in to keep us up, and I just don't think he will. Watford have got some good players though. They're better than where they. Well, I say that they're a relegation battle side. The problem at Watford is that their owners think they're better than they are. Like they're always going to be with that team. You're going to be fighting relegation, but you know, in a way, I want Watford to go down because I think their managers are ridiculous. Their owners' opinions on Bentancur. Oh, I can't pronounce it. I never have been able to pronounce it. Luke starting. I like him. I thought he was good at Juventus. A lot of people sort of written him off. There was a time when I really would have took him at United. I probably still would take him over United. So Conte obviously rates him, and I'm interested to see what he can do in this game today because Spurs were poor. Really poor against Southampton. They got played off the park. So I'm interested to see what Spurs do today because, all right, Spurs lost to Southampton, but United have drawn at Burnley and drawn against Southampton. Like, if you want top 4, it is there. It is there. Jeannie says, does anybody know the earliest at which Man City can be confirmed winners of the Premier League? I'd say it'd be quite a while, mate. Quite a while because Liverpool aren't out of it yet. Man City are the favourites, but Liverpool have got 2 games in hand. If they win their 2 games in hand, they are 6 points behind Man City. If they beat Man City, they're 3 points behind Man City. So it's not over yet. If you're a Chelsea fan, would you do a Lukaku for Kane swap? Says the Cutter. I would. Just watch Monaco beat Lorient. I have to say Tchouameni is better CDM and value for money than Rice for United, but we're British FSC, so we'll sign Rice. Mark, why did I must admit, I think that's a great point. It's almost worth a poll, actually, which I'll do in a minute. In fact, we'll do it at half time on the either or. Who do you know, say Chelsea gets Tchouameni and Man City gets Rice, who do you think will end up being the better player? Because I think there's a case to say that it could be Tchouameni. Mark, why did United go for Ralph if they don't listen to him? There were better interim managers out there, says Combs. Like who? Like who? Like who? Playing now against City, do you care about Man United women, says Callum. I don't not care, I just don't really watch it. Yeah. Super Bowl is tonight, Fox. Thank you very much for that. Looking forward to the Super Bowl stream tonight, so make sure you subscribe, bottom right hand corner, and get ready. We'll be live from 11 o'clock for 11:30. Is it a punt off or do they still call it a kickoff? Right, we've got the poll for the Spurs result a lot closer. 41% are saying Spurs will win, 29% are saying a draw, 30% are saying a Wolves win. Right, I'll tell you what I think is going to happen. I think Burnley are going to lose to Liverpool about 3-0. I think Spurs are going to beat Wolves 2-1. And I think Newcastle are going to draw with Villa 2-2. What is the best result for United? Wolves win. Yeah, Wolves win because Wolves won't get top 4. They're not going to be a threat for top 4, but Spurs could be. So a Wolves win is probably the best for us there. Butterpants, hope you're doing well as well. Do you think Bale would have been in the top 5 best players if his mentality was right, says Bassett. I think Gareth Bale won't give a shit about anybody else apart from Gareth Bale and his friends and family. I don't think he really cares about what any of us say. But I do think that he achieved a lot. You know, he went from being a Spurs player to being one of the best players in the Premier League and, you know, winning a Champions League and La Ligas. I think it's a shame. I think Gareth Bale in a way is a sort of reflection of another type of modern footballer where they're falling out of love of the game. You know, he's got so much money. He could have retired 5 years ago. He's got so much money. He'll have invested it. You know, he loves his golf. He's just checked out. And the frustrating thing for that is that I or you or I would love to have Gareth Bale's career from 29 to now. And I think he's wasted it. But it's his life to lead, isn't it? But there's, you know, you could say the same about Eden Hazard. What's gone on there? Like, why? Why have they fell off a cliff in relation to their ability? And I think it's got to be to do with application. You know, I'm crap at golf, Food, so he'd beat me. Which game will you be focusing on the most, says Callum? 50-50, mate. It depends which game's the better game, really. Thoughts on Kulievski, says Joshua. I think he's a good, exciting player that Spurs have got hold of. I think he came into a difficult game on Wednesday night against Southampton. I do think he's a good player, though, and I think it'd be very interesting to see how he develops. I mean, Bentancur or Bentenkar or whatever we want to call him, he's a good player. And it'd be very interesting to see how he plays today because he's playing from the start. So let's wait and see on that. Abdullah says, why do United Stand recycle the same content? We don't, mate. Every bit of our content is new. Twat. Thoughts on Broho, Mark? A very good player. Another player on loan from Chelsea. Yep, I like the look of him. And Chicken Bakura vlog, Mark. When I get the time to do it, Vabaf, I'm going to do it. But if you know, watch my road trip to Manchester. That's what I'd say, first of all. That was good, I think. Right, 1 moment. I've just remembered I've forgotten something. I'm still here. That's a gold YouTube plaque. It's not a real one. But I don't know why I put it there, really. Probably just to show off a bit, but I do know why I put it there. Okay, so Logan says it was good. Thank you very much. So we're 2 minutes away from kickoff. Could you run through the lineups quickly, please, mate? Says Ollie Phillips. Shall we do it? Shall we do it for Ollie? I'm going to do a poll. I'm asking the poll. Shall I do the lineups for Ollie and anybody else, or should we just not do it? Get in the poll. Let me know. Sean Dyche is. I tell you what, Goldbridge, you're an arsehole. Why aren't you doing a watch along for Burnley? You're an absolute knobhead. We've got a great chance today. You've got no chance. You've got absolutely no chance today. They want me to do the lineups. Mark, have you seen about? No, I'm not. Luke, that's terrible. That's absolutely terrible. He's put 2 names together to try and get me to say it to catch me out. I'm the king of not being caught out. Some people do it on purpose, actually, you know. There are other channels that will read it out thinking, oh, they'll clip it up and I'll get a meme. But I don't get caught out by stuff like that. It's terrible. I feel sorry for you, Luke, really. He says, Mark, have you ever seen that player? Then the first name's Yuri and the second name's Nater. And he's at Shakhtar. He could replace Maguire quite well. Okay. Hope the ungrateful Grealish haters get battered, says Mitchell Bassett. And he's not playing today. Don't play for Villa anymore. Man United Hodge. Be interesting to see how Chambers does for Villa. That transfer came out of nowhere. Yeah, well, he came on at the week. He came on, didn't he? Because of Konza. So we're about to start here. Let me just go through the teams again. So in the Spurs game, Lloris, Romero, Sanchez, Davies, Doherty and Sessegnon. Emerson dropped because he was crap. And interestingly enough, they've also dropped the fullback as well, Reguilon. Winks and Bentancur play in the midfield, and Lucas Moura, Kane and Son as the front 3. Wolves are Sar, Kilman, Cody, Says, Semadou, and Altnori. Then Donker, Neves, Kundel, and Jimenez and Podence. I'm just getting the timer ready here. I'm going to go off the Newcastle game with the timer. And I'll give you the Newcastle Villa team in a minute. We're good. We're gone. Okay. And in the other game, let me just get the timer on the screen for everybody because I have started. Oh, it's going to take forever. I don't know what's going on here. It's getting on my bloody tits. That's what's going on. Let me just wait for it. It's like dial-up on OBS today. I have clicked it to get the timer on the screen, but it's taking ages. It will do it in a minute. There you go. Right, and then we've got the Villa-Newcastle game. If you want the team news for that, Debravka, Trippier, Shah, Byrne and Mankilo. Willock, Shelvey, Joe Linton, Fraser, Wood, St Maximum. And then it's Martinez, Cash, Chambers, Mings, Digne, McGinn, Louise, Ramsey, and Bendia, Watkins, Coutinho. So get ready to rumble. Let's get ready to rumble. It's ready. Get steady and rumble. Everybody rumble. You got 2,500 votes saying to do the team news again. Nice people. Kay says Super Bowl question mark. I mean, I can only say I'm doing a Super Bowl watch along so many times. And it definitely is not going to kick off now when it's like, what, 7 o'clock in the morning in America. I mean, I hope Villa get battered. Ungrateful Grealish haters. MCFC okay, says Mitchell Bassett. Okay, he's clarified it there. Hi, Mark. What do you think about Donny's game against Leeds? I'm pretty sure he was playing the CDM role as well, says Callum. He played in the midfield too with Alan and he played well. Yes. So, first few minutes here. Gerard. Mark. Who's the biggest diver? For me, it's Bruno, says John. It's 9 AM in America. Or it's 6 AM in other parts. Have you seen the Dean Henderson news, says RJ? I've seen Dean Henderson trending on Twitter. I think it's disgusting. I think it's just... I haven't even commented it on social media because I think it's just disgusting. So basically, there was a story last night that a footballer has been basically paid off his girlfriend for not reporting them for some domestic abuse, and then social media has just decided that it's a certain player. There's no evidence, like it's not allowed to be released who it is, and yet social media has decided that it's a certain player. It's disgusting, absolutely disgusting. The same, it's happened before though. This sort of thing happens all the time. Social media and idiots on social media start going, oh yeah, that fits the story I want. It must be true. There's literally no evidence that it's him at all, and he's trending on Twitter. Disgusting. Players like that should, get lawyers involved to find out where it starts and who's retweeting it, and then sue them, because it's disgusting that a player gets trending on Twitter for something like that when there's no evidence. It's 9 AM in Florida, says Mike. Well, the final's in LA. The Super Bowl's in LA. So, first few minutes here, Spurs are just passing it around the back, and Newcastle are... It's quite a thirsty game between Newcastle and Villa, actually. Both teams just early on trying to get going. I must admit, Newcastle and Villa's kits, I have always felt there's a kit clash. And there clearly isn't, because it's claret and blue and it's white and black. But I've always felt it's a little bit kit clashy. I've always been... I don't know why. Maybe it's just my head. Yes, I don't know whether anyone else shares that opinion. Do you think Rashford makes City or Liverpool's bench, says Rob? Yeah, I think he probably does, because he offers pace, doesn't he? Can you show us the Super Bowl green screen? That's what we'll have on front for the score later on tonight on this channel, so make sure you subscribe. And then the background Oh, actually, I can do both. This is there's an injury in both games at the moment, so I'm not laughing about the injury. Well, I'll have a desk, but that's more or less what it's going to be like. It's a bit messy because I've got the That's Football desk, but there will be a desk in there as well. Tonight at 11, the Super Bowl watch-along on That's Football. Or shall I call it, from 11 o'clock tonight, That's American Football. Anyway, both games are about to start back here from injuries. No, they're not. He's still down, the Newcastle player. Wolves put a free kick in and it gets cleared, but the Newcastle player is still down here. Kiss the early morning sun. Good shot from Wolves. Lloris. Double save from Lloris. Through it 1-0. Wolves 1-0. No messing about. He couldn't save that. Spurs are shit. 1-0 to Wolves already. And it's Jimenez. They're really bad, Spurs. They're really bad. I can't say they're bad enough. Newcastle game still hasn't started yet, but Wolves put a free kick in. Lloris made a couple of saves, and it fell to him. I mean, where you as a Spurs fan, I'm like, where's my defence? You know that game, Where's Wally? Where's the defence? Like, bloody hell. He makes 3 saves, Lloris. And Jimenez has got the time to control it on his chest and hit it in as well. Stunningly shit defending from just no defence. They are not going to get top 4, are they? They're just not going to get top 4. They're so bad. Their defence is awful, Spurs. Nobody's hungry. No one's marking their man. Newcastle Villa's back up and running, but Jimenez for Wolves, 1-0. And to be honest, we've only had about 7 minutes, and it's a very similar start to Southampton again. Defensively, all over the shop. Well, there you go. Arsenal fans are singing. I suppose from a United point of view, we're singing as well, because I think Spurs. Wow, you know, you got to be. I tell you what, if West Ham beats Leicester today, that would be a massive result. But I just don't see it happening. Kiss the early morning sun. Great spots on today, Mark. Thanks for bringing us the games and Super Bowl. Can't wait, Logan. I'm so excited about the Super Bowl tonight. Really cannot wait. 11 o'clock tonight will be live, but we've got some cracking games this afternoon as well. Was it Lloris's fault? Says Just Do It. He's always been. I'm not a big fan of Lloris. Not a big fan of Lloris. I get told all the time what a great goalkeeper he is, but I'm not a massive fan of Lloris because he does palm away a lot. You know, he must love ham, like Parma ham. And his wife must be called Pam. He loves anything to do with his palms because he's just, well, don't we all? But he always palms it away. I don't rate Lloris, but people say to me, "Oh, put Lloris in a top 5. Put Lloris in a top 5." I'm like, no, I'm not putting Lloris in a top 5. I don't think he is a top 5. Jacob says, I would watch the Super Bowl, but I have college, unfortunately. Boring, Jacob, you're boring. You can still watch it. Watch a bit of it and fall asleep watching it. We'll be live from 11. You don't have to go to bed at 11. Mark, would you rather go to a Champions League semi-final or a Super Bowl? This is Angel. I tell you what, you'll stay awake watching me do the Super Bowl anyway, because I get really pumped up. I get these on, and I become like a different host. Get these on. These will be on tonight. Super Bowl. 24, 46, 48. Hut. Is that American football? I think it is. Mark, would I rather go to a Champions League semi-final or a Super Bowl? You know, I'd say Champions League semi-final because you know where you are with football. I like to watch American football, but I don't know whether I could sit and watch American football in a stadium for 3.5 hours. That's a long time. Could be 4 hours. And last year it finished at, what was it? What time did the Super Bowl finish last year? About 3:30. So yeah, it's about a 4-hour game. You've got to get there early. You don't get out for half an hour. About 5 hours, I reckon. It's like nobody wants top 4. Everyone's slipping up, says Owen Stanley. Apart from Arsenal. The problem again is that Wolves are the better team. Southampton were the better team. And Spurs are playing crap. Newcastle, Villa, just watching it there. Villa keeper's got hold of it. Sorry, Newcastle keeper's got hold of it. Am I having a roast dinner? Maldoon, I'll tell you what. I'm having my Valentine's dinner tonight. Yeah, we're having it tonight. We've got like a Marks and Spencer's sort of meal deal. Special profiteroles, lamb shank. Yeah, looking forward to it. And why are we doing our Valentine's meal tonight? Because we're busy on a Monday night. Seb has football. Maddie has football. So, yeah. I'm not a big fan of Valentine's Day anyway. For personal reasons. I could never open my front door up until about 25. Full of letters. So, I've always had a, fear of letters since then. So many cards. Would a draw in the Spurs game be the best result for United? Technically, it would be. Wolves at the moment would be on 37 points, 3 points behind United with a game in hand. I'd never thought about it like that. I don't know what Wolves' next few games are. Let's have a look at Wolves. I mean, Wolves at the moment looking like winning because they are winning. They've got Leicester next week, and they've got Arsenal again at the Emirates, and they've got West Ham. Wolves aren't getting top 4. They're not getting top 4. They're not going to take 9 points in the next 3 games, are they? Alpha Gaming says, do you think Wolves are a dark horse? No. I think they're a bright orange horse, and I think everyone can see them coming. I think Spurs are playing terribly, though. Lucas Moore has won a free kick there. TUSFC's back tomorrow, Lewis. Can't wait yet. Looking forward to it. 2 disappointing draws on Friday. How do you think Fergie would have dealt with the Greenwood situation, and did you watch the Rooney documentary? And thoughts on De Ligt to United as Ben Stokes. I haven't watched the documentary for Rooney yet. I've watched a bit of it. Looking forward to watching the rest. And what would Sir Alex do with the Mason Greenwood situation? Same as Ranić. He can't really do much, can he? He's been arrested and he's on bail, so you can't pick him. As for De Ligt to United, probably a no from me. I think he's a little bit... I don't think he's the sort of centre-back that United need. I think we need more of a Rudiger type of centre-back to play next to Varane. How long do I think Conte will last at Spurs, says Sammy? The fact is, this is not improvement from Spurs. They got played off the park by Southampton, and if it happens against Wolves, that's 2 home games. This is not improvement for Spurs, so needs to do better. Please subscribe, by the way. Bottom right hand corner, we've got nearly 9,000 watching. It's still 0-0 in the Burnley-Liverpool game, by the way, and a corner for Villa here. Shelby's not happy about it, but it is a corner. Voldemort. Harry Potter. Please subscribe, bottom right hand corner. You're very welcome on the channel, of course. That's Football is for everybody. We'll be doing some either or polls at half time for you to get involved in. But remember, tonight at 11 o'clock, we're doing the Super Bowl on this channel. That's Football becomes That's American Football. It's going to be a cracker. I've got my drinks ready. I've got my snack box ready. It's going to be an event. Don't miss it tonight. That's Football or That's American Football. This channel, basically, for the Super Bowl. Subscribe, bottom right hand corner for free and get your notification. Thanks for the super chat, Alpha Gaming. You're a legend. Thank you very much. Jimenez scored for Wolves. Third attempt it was for Wolves as well. I don't know where the Spurs defence were. Terrible defending again. And that's been the theme for Spurs in the last couple of games. Just terrible defence. Really, really bad. I mean, they're playing a back five as well. It's not like that, you know, there should be 3 centre-backs around. I think there's a bit of a skill gap in the Villa Newcastle game, which you would expect. You know, Villa are a better team than Newcastle, but it really is hurting my eyes. I feel I know there isn't a kit clash because of the colours, but it's the patterns. I find it difficult. It'd been a lot easier if Villa had just played in a plain kit. Spurs got in there, but Son was offside anyway. I don't know whether he was offside. He didn't score. Burnley are playing well, says Ezo. David, who will be in the relegation battle? The relegation battle could be quite boring, to be honest with you. Just talking to Seb. Hi Mark, you've been keeping up to date with Serie A, says Jamie. I haven't, if you want to tell us. I haven't. No. I'm so focused on the Super Bowl tonight. Would you rather Glazers out or select whatever manager and CEO you want? Glazers out, Callum. Glazers out. That's the only way United are going to improve is if they get proper owners. 100%. It's 2-0 to Wolves. They are so bad at the back. They are so bad at the back. I cannot believe the goal that Wolves have just conceded. Spurs are shit. They are so bad. 2-0 to Wolves now. It's just their defence is absolutely abysmal. It's comedy. Watch this back on Match of the Day later. Spurs can clear this ball. He clears it to a Wolves player. I don't even know. It's sort of deflecting around all over the place, off Wolves defenders, off the post, and then there's a Wolves player just to tap it in. It's unbelievable. It's like a table tennis goal. I don't know who scores the goal. It's Dendoncker. Dendoncker scored it. They just flashed it up on the Newcastle game. So Dendoncker has scored it, but it's bouncing around all over the place. Bloody hell. I tell you what, Arsenal fans are loving this. They're so bad. They're so bad. They create nothing and the defence is absolutely abysmal. Spurs are a joke. I've watched the last 2 games. We've done them as watch-alongs. They've just got no coordination at the back. Too easy. I mean, Wolves are a good side. I mean, you know, to be fair, they nearly got a point against Arsenal. They're not a bad side, but Spurs are a bad side. They're a very bad side. Hi, Mark. Why is everyone saying Ralph is not a good coach? He is better. Sorry, he's better sporting director, but we can see improvements in the gameplay, except Maguire, and also Klopp took 3 years and Pep to win his first, says United Voice. And Mark, who do you think have more chance getting top 4, Man United or United Stand FC? Says Michael Wright. Yeah, well, probably United at the moment, where United Stand FC are in their season. But if you know, you know. Comedy Hotspur, says AY. Yeah, I mean, if you've got any Spurs fans in the chat, please talk to us. Arsenal fans are saying beating Wolves is not for everyone. I did think that was a very impressive result for Arsenal on Thursday night, to keep the clean sheet, to hold out with 10 men. I thought they played really, really well. And Wolves are a decent side, as they're showing here. But Spurs have got a big problem. I mean, what's going on, Zortex? He says he's a Spurs fan. What do you think's going on, Spurs fans? What's the problem? Because Conte's definitely a good coach, but these players are abysmal. Heads are dropped. They're all over the place. God, this Newcastle game's going to go on till 9 o'clock. I'll have to put back the Super Bowl. There's another player down now. If he's so hyped for the Super Bowl, I might not get to bloody watch it, mate. There's another player down in the Newcastle game. Another head injury. Yeah, I mean, my observation is Spurs being Spurs, says Charlie. My observation of Spurs is that there's just no connect between the midfield and the attack. The defence and the attack. They're all over the place. Wolves have just come and played confidently, but Wolves came to Old Trafford and played well. They beat us at Old Trafford, so it was never going to be an easy game for Spurs, but it's drifting away again. Hopefully Conte walks at the end of the season and joins United. He's the only manager who won't allow the board to put him on strings like a puppet, says Mason Reed. Yeah, United won't go for Conte. He's too abrasive for them. Weiss says, what's going on with Leicester? Spurs doing Spurs things. Couldn't be happier, says Ian Pleasance. Oh, Lloris has just made a great save. Jimenez from the edge of the box. It could have been 3-0. That's the thing. It's not a shock that Wolves are 2-0 up. It could have been 3-0. I think the favourite for top four is Arsenal. I was talking about this before. Arsenal obviously have got their next game is at home to Brentford, so you'd expect them to pick up 3 points there. Really, United had a massive opportunity. We really did. Burnley away, Southampton at home, Brighton at home, Leeds away, Watford at home. We had a chance to take 15 points, and the way the top four race is going, if we'd taken 15 points, everyone else would have been out of it, because no one can do that sort of consistency. But United have dropped 4 points in 2 games. Spurs are looking like dropping 6 points in 2 games. I think West Ham will keep battling away. I think once that Europa League kicks in, that'll be the end of that, really. I can't see West Ham doing much damage. West Ham's fixtures don't look particularly good. They've got Leicester today. I don't think they'll win that. Then they've got Newcastle at home, which they could win. Then they've got Wolves themselves at home. Are West Ham not in the Europa League? Oh no, they've not had the draw yet, have they? Because they're not playing the first qualifier. Liverpool in March, Villa in March, Spurs in March. So difficult fixtures for West Ham, to be fair. Arsenal, for me, on paper, are the team to watch out for. They've got they're in 6th place, but they've got at least 2 games in hand on everybody above them. They've got Brentford at home next Saturday at 3 o'clock. We should expect them to win. They've then got Wolves at home. Well, they beat them once, so they can do that again. Then they've got Watford away, which you'd expect them to win. Then they've got 2 tough games in March. They've got Leicester at home, but then again, are Leicester that good? Then they've got Villa away, Palace, Brighton, Southampton, United, West Ham, Leeds. Arsenal have got the best run in. It's just whether they've got the consistency. They've got none. They ain't got to play Man City, Liverpool, or Chelsea. What's your thoughts on Chelsea's Club World Cup win? I really couldn't give a shit about it. I think it's a great achievement for Chelsea, though. I remember when United did it. You're not going to get praise for it from rival fans, but when you do it, Liverpool will tell you. Man City won't. They've never won it because they've never won the Champions League. But when United won it, it's a nice thing for you. It's a nice thing for you, but you never get any praise from the wider media or other fans because people just don't really get it. It's a reward for winning the Champions League. That's what it is. So well done to Chelsea. Oh, sorry, Arsenal still have got to play Arsenal and have got to play Chelsea and Liverpool, by the way. I thought they played Liverpool twice. They've definitely got to play Chelsea, says Judd. Apparently Man United Brighton is not on the TV, but a lot of people were saying it was on the TV. I don't know. I've not even bothered looking. Somebody said it was on BT, but I don't know. Chelsea owner has done great job, says Dan. There's a relationship between the fans, whilst Glazers bought us for a money machine. No ambition, says Dan. Spot on. Spot on. I need a stretch, mates. So let's all make believe that we're still friends and we like each other. Let's all make believe that in the end we're gonna need each other. Robert says not on the TV because of the Champions League. There you go. I suppose it makes sense. I think Conte's looking to bring Kulievski on. St Maximin on a good run here, but well tackled by McGinn, and he's given the foul. I don't think it was a foul. It's annoying. Well, it's annoying United's not. It's annoying United are playing on Tuesday full stop, because I would like to have watched Champions League games. I normally do Champions League watch-alongs, so we will have a United stand watch-along, but fucking radio bullshit, nonsense and stupid ways of watching it, it's bollocks. Because I think it originally was on the telly. I'm sure it was originally on the telly when it got cancelled, so that's bollocks really, isn't it? But, you know. Miss out twice. As Roy always used to say, it's Spurs, you will beat Spurs, says Melps. Kulievski's coming on for Spurs. Probably going to be Sessegnon coming off. Tottenham probably win. Typical when you start crap, says Simon. Oh, I don't know about that. I know PSG against Madrid on Tuesday, says Zed Jamie. It's a bloody joke. This is why it pissed me off when all these games got cancelled. Joe, is Spurs on the TV? They're not in the Champions League, mate. Spurs are in the conference. Are Spurs still in the Conference League? City could win treble, says Jonathan. Callum says, please check the Daily Express, everyone. I'm convinced Callum does not live in the UK, because everyone in the UK is going, I'd rather wipe my arse. Check the Daily Express. Oh my God. He doesn't know. He's got no idea, has he? Yeah, it ain't Romano or David Ornstein, mate. It could all come down to 4th place when we play Arsenal on the 23rd, says the Honest Tiger. A lot of games to be played before we play Arsenal on the 23rd. Sessegnon walking back. He's got to walk all the way around the pitch. It's embarrassing, that is. Conte goes to speak to him. He's got it. Yeah, to be honest though, you know what? Ollie wouldn't change it. I rate that from Conte to make a change that early. Good run by... oh no, he's just gone back to his own goalkeeper. I said good run by Matty Cash, but he skipped past the Newcastle player to pass it back to his own keeper. Still 0-0 Newcastle Villa, and I believe it's still 0-0. Nitesh, I've already answered about Chelsea winning the World Cup. You're a thick idiot, basically. Did I imagine... Can somebody in the chat let me know? Nitesh asked like 5 minutes ago about what I thought about Chelsea winning the Club World Cup, and I spent 2 minutes talking about it. Very rude of Nitesh, isn't it, to not even be fucking listening? He's probably having a pot noodle, isn't he? Got something else on the internet. Bloody hell. Get your question answered and then you're asking for it again. Well, Newcastle are battling here. Yeah, I can't wait for the Super Bowl tonight. No, 11 o'clock. All I'm going to say is, some people are going, Super Bowl? I'm not interested in that. Give it a chance. I'm telling you. Give it a chance. I'll convert you. Penalty. Penalty, ref. He's going to book him for diving, is he? No, he's given a penalty. Yeah, it's a penalty. Penalty to Newcastle. Willock. He's given the pen. But it's outside the box. It's not a penalty. That's not a penalty. Free kick on the edge of the box. Lucy says the Super Bowl is crap. Swivel on it, Lucy. It's not just the Super Bowl, it's my stream. Yeah, he's outside the box there, the foul. Definitely not a penalty, right on the edge of the box. But they have got Trippier. Now, Trippier could be like Goldbridge on TUSFC. You get a free kick on the edge of the box, it may as well be a penalty. But unless his foot's touching the white bit. I think if your foot's touching the white bit, it's a foul, isn't it? It's a penalty, but that looks like it's outside the box. On the line, it's a penalty, says Scott. It's just gone like that. Outside the box. Outside the box. Spurs have done absolutely nothing in half an hour apart from go 2-0 down. So, yeah. So, good opportunity here for Trippier, free kick. Please subscribe, by the way. Bottom right corner, we're going for 615,000 today. Everyone's welcome on the channel on That's Football. We've got some exciting new content coming for you this week, which I think you're going to enjoy. It's sort of a development on the either-or thing that we do on here, where you have two players and you have to pick who's best. So get ready for that. It's very interactive. But free kick here right on the edge of the box. This is what they bought Trippier for, really. United and Spurs squads are desperately unhealthy. Best players ageing out or not performing. At least in Arsenal accepted where they are and built from there, says Ben White. Good point from Ben White, you know. I was looking at that today and I was going to tweet it, but then I forgot. I was looking at the average age of the squads in the Premier League. And Arsenal have got one of the youngest. I think it's around, their average age is around 23 and a half. Whereas I believe United's is more like 27. And Liverpool's is around 27. But Man City's is around 26. And I think the average age of your squad is very important if you're not performing and it's old. And that's happening with United. I think I know why you said check Daily Express. A Winter Olympic skier from Norway has collapsed. Thoughts and prayers to that person, says Coaster. Okay, thank you very much. Might be that reason. If it is, then best of luck to them. But I thought it might be actually to do football. Let's see what happens with Trippier. It's difficult. The free kick is right on the edge of the box. It's difficult. He's got to get it up and over the wall or blast it, basically. Macclesfield are going to get promoted, Marky, says Aviation Connoisseur. Good. If it makes you happy. Trippier's free kick. Goal! He scored it as well. Trippier, 1-0. I don't know what happens. I don't know whether it goes through the wall, deflects through the wall, but it's 1-0 to Newcastle. Need to see it back. Don't need to worry about VAR. It will definitely be a goal. Is it clean? Or does it go through... Well, it goes through the wall. Wall's not done its job. Here we go. Slow-mo. Oh, it's deflected off Bendia's leg. Deflected off his leg. I think the keeper would have saved it, but deflected off his leg. 1-0 to Newcastle. They're picking up the points. They're picking up the points, aren't they? The Tuna picking up the points. There you go. Here's an idiot for you. Lily, United should have bought Trippier. Why? Because he scored a free kick for Newcastle. Yeah, we should have bought him. That's the problem, isn't it, Lily? We didn't buy Trippier. That's the problem. Bloody hell. I get tired of United fans thinking we're 1 or 2 players away from being decent. Nothing. These are the idiots that make the Glazers prosper. Lloris has just made another good save from Podence, by the way. Another injury in the Newcastle game. There's a lot of stoppage time going to be in this Newcastle game. Newcastle are turning into something, Mark. Imagine next season, says Mr. Nobody. No, they're not. Have you actually watched the game? It's been quite an equal game. It's just a free kick and they've scored it. This Newcastle side here would always be bottom half of the table. But what Newcastle will do is shot from Son, saved by the keeper, is that they'll buy better and better. So they will become something. You're right, but they will be. But the team they've got at the moment's not great. It's good enough to keep them up, but I guarantee if this Newcastle team that Eddie Howe's got started the season, they'd still be finishing about 15th. Wiz says Newcastle to win the league next year. No, Eddie Howe won't win you anything, mate. I think it's a poison chalice being the Newcastle manager, the first Newcastle manager anyway. You're definitely going to get sacked, aren't you? The next manager for Newcastle will be the interesting one. I think that's when Newcastle will start to push. It's a bit like what Chelsea did with Mourinho, isn't it? They had to, and Man City did it as well. You have a few managers before you hit the right one. Burnley are doing quite well according to Kerr. They're 0-0 with Liverpool, which is impressive after 40 minutes. Jishnu says United are going to dominate the summer transfer window. You know when you read a comment that you wish you hadn't because you just wasted 10 seconds? A lot of people saying Burnley have been the better team in the first half. Let's see if we can get you the stats. So Villa are 1-0 down here. Kish Sharma wants someone to clip up the reaction to Lily's chat. Ah. It's a mad situation for Spurs, isn't it? They're not going to come back into this game and get the win they need. It's just not going to happen. It could happen, but I don't think it's going to happen. Five minutes to go till half time. Still 0-0 Burnley and Liverpool. Liverpool need to keep winning. Super Bowl Sunday. Super Bowl Sunday. Can't wait. I've got to be careful I don't use up all my energy. But Super Bowl Sunday. Super Bowl Sunday. Who do I want to win? What's the name of that receiver for Rams? I can't remember what his name is. He won, I think he won like Player of the Year in that position as well. I can't remember what his bloody name is now. Brighton will be a very tough game, said somebody. Brighton will be a very tough game for United. Only City, Liverpool and Chelsea have lost less games, says Thomas. Yeah. Burnley are the same though. Cup, that's his name. Cooper Cup. Cooper Cup, watch out for him, plays for the Rams. I don't mind if the Rams win because I'm not an Arsenal fan. Arsenal fans probably don't want the Rams to win because they're owned by Kroenke, aren't they? But you're in the same boat as us, Arsenal. Your owners don't care about your team. They only care about American things. Here's McGinn. Cash. Wanted a handball. Not going to get it. Never going to get it. Offensive Player of the Year, Cooper Cup. Yeah. And the quarterbacks are the two players to keep an eye on. I've forgotten their names already. I'm too focused on football. Stafford's one, isn't he? I think Stafford's one. Liverpool have scored. Fabinho, 1-0. 1-0 to Liverpool. I told you they were going to win. Too good. Switch it wide, Villa here. Matty Cash, he's got a bit of time. He's held on to the ball for too long there. I support New England Patriots as SS11. Unfortunately, they're not playing in the Super Bowl. Burrow and Stafford are the fullbacks, quarterbacks. Do you know how Luke Cundall is getting on for Wolves? Very good family friend of mine. Gutted, can't watch the match. Keep up the good work, Mark, says Ryan Gibney. Thank you very much. I've probably been keeping more of an eye on the Newcastle Villa game, to be honest. But if anyone in the chat wants to know, let him know. His family friend is playing for Wolves today, I believe. I can't remember the lineup. Yeah, he's playing in number 39. Wolves, Scott McTominay. And that doesn't mean he's playing like McTominay. If United finish 5th or below, can you see the board ever selling Maguire or Rashford? No. They'll never let them go. They picked them because of some reason that's nothing to do with football anyway, so they'll never sell them. Villa are playing alright, said Jamie. They're just... it's a typical sort of away from home battle against the team that's fighting for survival, aren't they? Wood with a wild shot there. Wow, you got to find your way out of the wild, wild wood. Who's been your best signing so far in the Prem, says Jonas? Good question. I do think Ramsdale's done very well. Fabinho is class AS. I think Ramsdale's got to be a consideration at Arsenal. He's been a very good signing. Kundal, apparently he's just got injured. I don't think he's coming off. They reckon that this Super Bowl game is going to go right to the end. Plaque says, did you hear about the Henderson situation? I'm getting tired of talking about the Henderson situation because there is no Henderson situation. This is just a witch hunt on social media and it's dangerous. It's really dangerous. I think we need to be better as society. You can't just decide it's a player that you don't like and start getting them trending on Twitter. There is no evidence that Dean Henderson is involved in anything, but Twitter has decided that he is the player. It's disgusting. It's bullying. That's what it is. It's online bullying. It's harassment. And really, these people need to get prosecuted for it. How you can get a player trending on Twitter for something that there's no evidence that they've done, I just find it disgusting. So I'm not commenting on it anymore because it's just a disgrace, really. If there's any evidence about it, put it out there, but there isn't. Love the content. Something I believe is missing that I would love is consistent upload of weekly roundup, pre-post review of the mid-match week's games, says NA UK. Thank you. United should get SFPL manager, says SS11. Jack says, are you streaming the Super Bowl tonight? No, I've just said it about 20 times for a laugh. Jack, I appreciate you might have just come onto the stream. Yeah, I am. We're nearly at half time. We'll do some either ors. I'm not sick, Intel. I've got like a bit of a cold going on. But it's not... It's just like at the back of my nose. What teams battle realistic for top 4 and who do you think will get it? This is Diego. I don't know who's going to get top 4 at the moment. Will you have a nap before the Super Bowl? No. No. I'm ready to go, mate. I've done it before. I'm ready to go. I enjoy it as well. I think I'll find it easier than last year, and I stayed awake fine last year. I got my sneak. And I got my snacks. Pace ourselves. Good conversations. I've wrote some down already. People I hate in the industry. Knobheads in the industry. Backstabbers in the industry. Copying twats in the industry. So that'll take me at least 2 hours to go through. It's going to be a good stream. Who do you think will be the next new player to get called up for England? God, Jack, I don't know. I'd like to see Ramsey get called up. Got American snacks, Mazem. League Cup Watchalong. Sorry if you already answered. I had to jump off for a moment. Oh, yeah, I'm definitely doing the Carabao Cup. Yeah, is that in a couple of weeks, isn't it? Looking forward to that. Definitely doing the Carabao Cup final. I'm looking forward to it. Chelsea-Liverpool. I think it'll be a good game. I mean, Chelsea seem to be back, and Liverpool are just dominant and relentless. I think I'm really looking forward to that. You know, if I could watch one game in the Premier League, I think I would pick Chelsea-Liverpool over a Man City-Liverpool or a Chelsea-Liverpool or a Chelsea-Man City. Liverpool-Man City, I think, is an interesting game, but Chelsea-Liverpool, I just think it tends to be a better game. Goal! It's not a goal. McGinn, edge of the box, shoots, and it deflects just wide of the post. It would have been an OG off Wood. In India, young fans are supporting City and Liverpool, but 10 years ago it was Chelsea, Arsenal, Man United. If teams don't get there on the pitch up to standard long term, their support is going to dry up, Rishab. Well, that's the way it should be, Rishab. You know, bit of something going on in the penalty box here between Villa and Newcastle. That's the way it should be, mate. Corner to Newcastle. Corner to Villa. As a Villa player fell over here, but it's all just pushing. You know what? They've never sorted this out. I'm not saying Newcastle should have a penalty given against them, but this could have been sorted out a long time ago. You know, when it's a corner, if someone gets pushed over, just give a penalty and no one will push each other again. Like, it's like shirt pulling, isn't it? Do you have anything planned for Valentine's Day, says Plaque Matthew? Not really. I'm not a big fan of Valentine's Day. Half time in the Spurs game. Newcastle have got a corner here. Mings heads it over the bar. Arsenal fans will be loving it. Well, Newcastle are making a sub here. I think it's obviously because of an injury. You wouldn't be making a sub based on anything else. Mankilo comes off and Dummett comes on. Leading by a Trippier goal. Could have been a penalty. Free kick on the edge of the box. Shot through the wall. 1-0 to Newcastle. The half is not quite over yet, but it is half-time in the Newcastle... No, it's not Newcastle game. It is half-time... What have I just done? Why have you closed that, you tit? You bloody tit. You've closed down the bloody YouTube. You can't. Slow Sports News, you can't do a watch along without your bloody chat. You bloody prat. Goldbridge. What a prat. Okay, so yeah, it's 1-0 to Newcastle, but it is half-time in the Spurs game. Oh my God, what is Mings doing here? Martinez and Mings come in for the same ball, and Mings wins it and nearly heads it in his own goal. How and why did you start doing YouTube content, says Terence? Or it's a boring story, Terence. Basically, I was just fed up with the mainstream media. I thought it was boring and scripted, so I thought, well, I'm going to just try and just do something a bit real. Never expected it to work. So yeah, Spurs are 1-0 down here. It's a corner to Newcastle. We're just waiting for half-time in that game. But Spurs, what's going on? What's going wrong at Spurs? Please subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Remember doing the Super Bowl watch-along tonight. It's going to be an absolutely epic stream. It was my favourite stream of last year. And I did loads of different things. I did boxing, loads of football. Super Bowl was my favourite stream, so it's going to be brilliant. Really looking forward to it. Hi Mark, I'm an Arsenal fan, but I absolutely love your content. Wish Arsenal have someone like you in the fan base. It's been a bit sus lately, but nevertheless keep up the great work and much love from California, says Dan. Yeah, you do have representatives in fan content, do you? Don't you, for Arsenal? But I would agree it's fell off a lot. Well, it's not for everybody, is it? You know, respect for people who are doing that, but I think there's a real lack of intelligent conversation around Arsenal. I would agree. I've been saying on this channel for a while that Arsenal under Arteta are heading in the right direction, and I've been abused by Arsenal fans. Shut up! You don't know what you're on about. Keep your nose in your own club. Well, I'm a Man United fan, but guess what? I watch other games, so I'll keep my nose in whatever I want to. I said over a year ago, I can see what Arteta's doing, but it's going to take time. He's got crap owners. He's got no money. He's stuck with a load of shit players that he doesn't want. He's stuck with some big attitude, well-paid players that he didn't want. He's cleared a lot of deadwood out. He's turned them from grinding out results to a team that's playing more like he wants to. He's brought players in. He's changed the goalkeeper when he didn't really need to, but he wanted to. He's removed Aubameyang, Ozil, a few other players. They're probably favourites for top four. And if you'd said that to me at the start of the season, that Arsenal would be favourites for top four in February, I'd have said, where's the statue? I think if Arteta gets Arsenal top four, it's much bigger than winning a cup. Unless it's a Premier League or a Champions League, that fourth place should never be more than a trophy. But the fact that Arsenal had no chance of it at the start of the season, if they get fourth place, that's better than the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup. And I don't like saying that, but you've got to take it into account of what it actually is. And if Arsenal get fourth place, that's an amazing achievement. And he's not been backed in January. He didn't get a striker, didn't get a midfielder. So be very interesting to see what happens. Hi Mark, do you think Bruno Lage could be considered for the United job? No, he won't. Goodness forever, he won't. And let's replace the old steel support beams at Old Trafford with Maguire, says CB. So look, we're at half time now. Let me just stop the clock. Spurs, I wanted to talk to you about Spurs. Then we're going to do a bit of either or for you to get involved in. But yeah, what was your thoughts about Spurs? My thoughts with Spurs are this. Please subscribe, by the way, bottom right hand corner, because we're doing a Super Bowl watch along tonight at 11 o'clock on this channel. That's football becomes That's American football. It's going to be a brilliant experience. But Spurs, it's not a brilliant experience. I do rate Conte. And I think that, but I can't rate that. Like, they got played off the park at home by Southampton on Wednesday, and Wolves have done the same. They're 2-0 down to Wolves, and they've been played off the park. It's not acceptable. There's something massively wrong. I watch United every game. We've got massive problems, but Spurs have got problems as well. They are lacking chemistry, cohesion. There's lack of belief. The defence they're terrible. They're really, really bad. And I don't know enough about Spurs. United, I know it's a big identity problem. Big egos, overpaid, not good enough, cliques. You know, you can see why it's not working. But at Spurs, I don't know why. Harry Kane may as well be Harry Maguire up front. Like, there's nothing going on. There's nothing going on for him. Son, very good player, not getting any service, not getting enough of the ball. I think their midfield is not good enough, to be honest. I don't think their midfield is good enough. And their defence, I mean, they're playing a back five and they still can't defend. I just don't get what's going on at Spurs. And Minan says it's a lack of talent. And I think that maybe it is. Maybe that is the issue at Spurs, because, you know, they should not be conceding as many goals as they are. 5 goals they've conceded in 1.5 games at home. 3 against Southampton and 2 in the first half against Wolves. They won't win that game. They probably won't draw that game because they're not creating enough chances. So I think it's weird for Spurs because under Conte, I don't know what's gone wrong. I don't know what's gone wrong at Spurs because before the international break, they'd put enough results together that I was looking at how many games they've got in hand and I thought they've got momentum, they're going to get better under Conte, they've got the games in hand, they're going to push United for top 4. I thought Spurs were going to be the ones that pushed us for top 4. Looks like it's going to be Arsenal and potentially West Ham. I don't know what's gone wrong with Spurs. Has there been some sort of falling out? Has Conte not got what he wanted in the January transfer window and there's been a bit of breakdown and he's pissed off and that's fed through to the team? I don't know. But something's changed at Spurs because they were a lot better before that international break. Thoughts on Roy Keane saying that Maguire is solid, says Emil. I haven't heard him say it, so I can't really comment on it because you might be lying. Hey Mark, it's my friend Ethan's turning 18. Can you say happy birthday to him? Happy birthday to Ethan. That's from Emmanuel. And Fabinho has scored. It's 1-0 to Liverpool against Burnley. Yes, it is. I just on the Harry Maguire thing, it reminded me of something when I was hoovering today. Nothing wrong with hoovering. I bloody love hoovering. I'd rather get a really powerful hoover than a brand new car. I love hoovering. I love it. But I digress. I often get asked, why do you think ex-players protect the British players and the young players? And I think it's just because they're British and some of them are young, came through the youth. But what's probably happens as well is you probably, because they are British, I wouldn't be surprised if a Harry Maguire's got WhatsApp of Gary Neville or someone like that and it's like, oh, can you give me some advice? And therefore you create a relationship. And when you create a relationship with somebody, you don't really want to then be going on telly and going, Harry Maguire's a load of shit, because maybe they WhatsApp each other, maybe they know each other, I don't know. But there is a cosier relationship between our ex-players in the media and our British players in the first team. Like, you know what? The way Rashford's played recently, if it was Anthony Martial, it would be a completely different story from some of our ex-players. The way Harry Maguire's performed recently, I guarantee you that if that was De Gea or it was Bruno, it would be completely different. They can deny it as much as they like, and there may well be legitimate reasons why they do it, but we see it week in, week out. These English, British players, or if they've come from the youth, they get protected way more than the foreign players that we've got. So there we go. Arsenal fan, I remember you saying that, says Saw Bandits. Mate, I don't want to be nice about Arsenal. I don't want you to get top 4. But, you know, sometimes love is blind, isn't it? And sometimes somebody who's not in the thick of it can look at it from far away and say it's fine. And when you're in the thick of it, you can't see the problems, or you can't see the solutions, or you can't see what's being done. And I think some Arsenal fans couldn't see what Arteta was doing. And I don't know, I never guaranteed it was going to work. I just said I can see what he's doing. United kids playing in adult bodies, says SS11. Thanks everyone who's done the super chats as well. Appreciate that for supporting the channel. Please subscribe, bottom right hand corner. That's free to do because we are going to be live at 11 o'clock tonight for the Super Bowl. Bengals against the Rams. I don't really care who wins. I'm just looking towards a good game. The playoffs were amazing. They've predicted that this game will go to the fourth quarter. Well, it will go to the fourth quarter. What I mean is they reckon it might be quite tight. It's very exciting when it's tight. That's what Sue said. But no, it could be a really good final, so I'm looking forward to it. But it'll be a good final anyway. We'll make it entertaining. Nothing is going wrong with Spurs. Everything is going great. Love Arsenal, says Raddy. Do I see Spurs getting back into this game? No. No, I don't. I really don't. I don't see that Wolves team don't concede many goals, so I don't think they'll concede 2. Right, I said I'd do a few either-ors for you, so I'm going to do you a few either-ors here. If you don't know what an either-or is, you get in the chat and you vote for the 2 things I put out. So this was one that I've wanted to do for a while. It doesn't always have to be a manager. I've just done it. It doesn't always have to be a player. So Pep or Klopp, who would you go for? Get in the chat and vote on the poll. Thoughts on Liverpool title races, Vikash? I think Liverpool are going to relentlessly win. And I think Man City are going to relentlessly win. So if that keeps happening, and then Liverpool play Man City and win, there'll be 3 points off them, and then it gets interesting, doesn't it? But Liverpool looking very good. And I was thinking that maybe Liverpool were looking for next season. But I think Klopp's looking for this year. There's no reason why Liverpool can't win the title this year. They've got everything they need. I just think Man City are favourite. I mean, I said Man City at the start of the season before a ball had been kicked, and I'd still say Man City now. But Liverpool are desperately trying to push them for it, and I think they will. It's very close in the poll, by the way. I think it's going to be one of the best ones we've done. Can you congratulate my daughter for scoring 6 goals at last weekend's weekend tournament? Go Albion Brooklyn. That's from Dino and his daughter Shiloh. Congratulations. Well done. 6 goals. There you go. There you go. Pep uses more money. Yeah, I would vote for Klopp. I've already said that before. I'm more of a Klopp man than a Pep man, but you know, there's no doubting that they're both amazingly good managers. Definitely. Do you still think Tuchel is the best manager currently? No. I think Tuchel did an amazing job last year. And he's found it harder this year. I mean, basically, what screwed Chelsea over this year is Lukaku. And I don't necessarily blame Chelsea or Tuchel for that. I thought when they bought... I actually... Talk about, oh, look at me, I predicted Man City would win the league. I also remember, you know what? Every season, we do a pre-season predictions on That's Football. Season before last, I predicted that Timo Werner would be top goal scorer. I didn't think I could get much worse than that. You know what? I think I did predict Lukaku. I think I did. I can't remember, but I think I did. So I think it was a good signing, but it sort of messed up Chelsea's title, really, not having that striker again. But they'll still be contenders for the Champions League. They're still in the FA Cup. They're in the Carabao Cup final. So, yeah. Be interesting to see. Right, Diaz going to Liverpool was a huge blow for Spurs, both on the pitch and for their identity as a big club with appeal. Maybe that hurt Conte. It's a good point, however. I do wonder if... there is disharmony around this behind the scenes with Conte and Spurs, because there was a couple of players that he wanted, wasn't there? He wanted Adama Traore, he wanted Diaz, he got neither of them, and therefore, is that something's changed at Spurs over the international break. Do you like Ryan Giggs as a player and as a person? Says SS11. I don't know him as a person, but as a player, he's a United legend, and to be honest with you, that's where I hit my ceiling anyway. I don't ask for these players to be idols, because most of them are knobheads. People don't want to hear that, but it's true. Most footballers are knobheads because they're surrounded by greedy people who put them in a bubble and tell them they can have anything they want. So, it's like that old thing: don't meet your heroes, because ultimately, all a footballer needs to do is put your club shirt on and perform. You don't have to invite them round for a Sunday dinner. You don't have to go and watch bloody Batman with them at the cinema. You're not going on holiday with them for a week in Magaluf. Like, all they've got to do is put the shirt on and perform. But the modern media wants to make them more than that. Oh, they're on a Pepsi advert. Oh, look, they're doing these headphones. Oh, they're this, they're that, they're this. They're doing this charity, they're doing that. For me, that's fine. But all they need to do for me is put the shirt on of my team and perform. I don't really care what they do. And if they're nasty people, they're nasty people. If they're knobheads, they're knobheads. If they do something illegal, they're not going to be putting my shirt on anymore anyway. But I just can't be arsed in engaging in the modern day footballer anymore, because I don't need to. I don't need to know what they're like as people. And if I meet them, like I say, I do stuff with Paul Ince. He doesn't play football anymore, but... I wish we had a prime Paul Ince now. But really nice guy. Somebody I really get on with. But it's become very corporate, yeah. It has. Well, United's biggest problem, I've said this on the United stand. We've got no fluidity, we've got no chemistry. Maybe Spurs have got this problem, maybe Arsenal have suffered it in the past. They're all individuals. If you think about any United player, they'll have a team doing their socials, they'll have an agent doing their deals, their contracts, they'll have somebody else doing their brand deals. They've probably got 5 or 6 people working for them, telling them how great they are, doing stuff for them. And every player in the United team's got that. It becomes very individualistic and it becomes very selfish. It's not just 11 players going to work to play for Man United now. It's 11 players and their massive entourages all trying to fight each other for the better deals. So no wonder there's no chemistry, because we've just become a franchise. And I think clubs that are performing well are clubs that have a team ethic. You don't really see as much social influence and brands around Man City and Liverpool and Chelsea. And I'm not saying that you don't get them at all, but United have a real big problem. They really do. Anyway, we're about to start off for the second half here. Where's the timer? Liverpool winning 1-0, yes. Spurs and Wolves have already kicked off, by the way. But Newcastle and Villa haven't, which is the one I'm going with the timer for. In fact, shall I just start the timer, and then in that case, it doesn't really matter then, does it? We'll start the timer for the second half. Newcastle hasn't started yet, Nini. Bam, bam. Oh, we haven't done the poll. So, we had 6,000 votes. One of the best polls we've ever done here. 54% went for Pep and 46% went for Klopp. That's close. And it only just turned from 53% to 54% just as I stopped it. So please subscribe, by the way, and don't forget the Super Bowl stream tonight from 11 o'clock. It's going to be a cracker. Can Villa get back into this game? Can Spurs get back into this game? I'd say Villa can get back into this game. I don't think Spurs can. But Newcastle need the points. Spurs have got a bit of a break here, but Wolves have tackled Son. He's given a free kick on Ruben Neves. Right, Seb?
Yeah.
Any plans for TUSFC merch anytime soon, says Sharma? Mate, I would love to do TUSFC merch, and I'm sure people would like to get TUSFC merch, but I'm not a manufacturer of clothing, and therefore there probably won't be any. So yeah, I would love to do it though. Some of the kits we've had have been really nice as well. What's my plan for the rest of the day? We've got the 8 o'clock show on the United Stand, Sunday night show, so we'll have the forum on, talking about everything United. I'll probably get something nice to eat tonight, like I said, and then probably have a nice hot bath, watch the rest of the Wayne Rooney documentary, and then live for the Super Bowl until the early hours. Kane's just hit a free kick straight at the keeper. Absolute shite. Trippier's down injured now. I think he might be coming off. 2-0 up away from home with half a game to play. Trust me, we did it at Villa. You can blow it, but I'd be very surprised when you look at Wolves. They're very good at defending. Trippier is come off. Yeah, he's off. Kraft comes on. Trippier comes off. So they've lost both fullbacks, Newcastle. How crap are Spurs and United, says old AFC. I mean, I don't think United are as bad as Spurs, mate. We're not great, but Spurs are shit. They need to... I've watched them for a game and a half now, and just not been impressed with them defensively or even on the attack. Are you jealous of Chelsea's dominance over the last 20 years, says Naomi? 10 years. You can't have 20 years. Stop trying to double it. You can have 10 years. I'm not going to give you 20 years because we won the Champions League in 2008. That's not even 15 years ago. We also won 3 titles in a row, so... You can have 10 years, though. Spurs have got City next. That'll be 3 losses in a row. City will destroy them. Remember Spurs did beat City at opening. Was it opening game of the season? It's still 1-0 to Liverpool, by the way. Are you going to watch Leicester West Ham? Probably not, because I can't do that many. I can't. Basically, I do it by hours. You can't stream for... As soon as you've streamed for about 4 hours, you're hitting on the edge of your energy levels, really. Good play here by Villa. I think Villa will score at some point. Greedy. Watkins. Greedy. I think, people will start arguing about Chelsea haven't dominated. I mean, Chelsea have won everything, haven't they? And they'd won nothing, really, before Abramovich came in. I mean, whatever you say about Abramovich, you've got to say that... the thing about Chelsea is he knows how to make them successful, because he'll sack Ancelotti when he's won the FA Cup. Like, he wants the league and he wants the Champions League, and that's what he wants, and he'll just go and get the best he can to do it, and if they don't perform, he'll sack them. Sacking Lampard, there was a lot of Chelsea fans that thought that was mercenary and horrible, and they weren't on board with it, and then 5 months later they've won the Champions League, and they're back in the Champions League in the top 4. Can't wait for Spurs to get relegated so I can park near my house again. Their tramp fans take all the spaces. Pay and display FC, says Salim. And it was refreshing to see a Man United player boss the midfield and properly make forward passes, except it was in an Everton shirt, says Anthony Johnson. I knew you were going with that, with Donny. I'm looking forward to... I am watching a lot of Everton now. I don't think I've ever watched an Everton game unless they were playing Manchester United or Liverpool. I don't normally tend to watch Everton, but their next game is next Saturday at 3 o'clock against Southampton, so I will watch that, because Southampton have been brilliant in the last 2 games, so I will definitely give that a watch. Might be a watch along at 3 o'clock next Saturday afternoon then, because I think Arsenal are playing, aren't they, on Saturday as well. 3 o'clock kickoffs next week: Arsenal Brentford, Villa Watford, Liverpool Norwich, Chelsea Palace, Brighton Burnley, and Southampton Everton. So yeah, I might do it. I might just do a 3 o'clock stream next Saturday, because there's so many games. Spurs are playing Man City. I'm not watching that. Fucking waste of time. R5, I'm going out. I'm doing a 3 o'clock stream next week. There's loads of games. We'll do a 3 o'clock one next week. I'm not doing Spurs against City. Just absolutely no point. Watch Spurs get dominated. Kiss the early morning sun. Kiss me where the sun don't shine. The past is yours, the future's mine. You're out of time. Do. Have you seen her? Have you heard? Better stop singing. Super Bowl tonight. Do you want a bit of a reveal about what we're doing tonight? Here you go. We'll have that on. And we'll have that on. It's a bit of a glimpse of what's coming tonight. The Super Bowl. One of my favourite streams of the year last year. The Super Bowl stream. Got me snacks. In fact, I'm gonna show you that as well. I've got my sneak box, and it's full of snacks for tonight's Super Bowl. Some of them are quite exotic. There's a gherkin or something like that. Big bags of crisps. What's this? Cookie dough, red velvet cupcake, cookie dough soda. Oh, God. well. That'll be interesting to try. And Boston baked beans, candy coated peanuts. Well, I do like candy and I do like baked beans. I do like nuts, so that'll all be going on tonight anyway. Looking forward to that. So we have 10 minutes of the second half. No goal from Villa. No goal from Spurs. Still behind. Oh, I've got some beers, Abhishek. Don't worry about that. Candy-coated nuts they are, Faris. Right, here's Harry Kane. Good save by Sarr. I'm not having a very good game, Goldbridge. I'm Harry Bain, but I'm feeling very, very tired today. Seb said he's hungover and I got any tips, but I've had a very good chance here and I just don't feel great. I don't know what's wrong, but hopefully I'll score some goals soon. Bye. Harry Bain. He's not played very well today. Again, second game in a row. Somebody asked for tips for a hangover. Plenty of this. It doesn't taste nice, especially when you've got a hangover, but water. You've got to rehydrate. Who was faster, Giggs or Rashford? Here's SS11 look again. He's obsessed with speed. I'd say Rashford's quicker than Giggs, but Spurs are getting a few more chances. Villa have got a free kick here from quite far out. Why's Coutinho come off? Why would Coutinho not take that free kick there for Villa? Can somebody explain that to me then? I'm really concerned. Why would Coutinho not take that free kick for Villa? What's going on? He's still on the pitch as well. Douglas Luiz took the free kick. Sean Turner says, I wish my girlfriend was obsessed with speed. Liverpool are winning 1-0 against Burnley, yes. I'm struggling with this Newcastle game. I am struggling with the kit. So there's no logical reason. I just think I feel there's a kit clash. Do you have a TV license? Says Multigamer. God, I remember when people used to ask me about that. I never got it. Good tackle by Mings. Who do you think's a better centre back, Mings or Maguire? I'm genuinely thinking there's a conversation to have. 11 o'clock tonight, Super Bowl watch-along starts. Arsenal for top 4 marks, says Sergio. I can't say you're going to get top 4, Sergio. I can't say that, but I'd say at the moment you would be the favourites. Yes, you and West Ham. But you would be favourites because you've got 2 games in hand. Yeah, I don't think there's a lot between Mings and Harry Maguire, but at least Mings has got the recovery pace. I'm going to put it out on Twitter and see what happens. Kiss the early... Oh, I'm not going to stop like that. Who was fast? Oh, we've done that. Giggs or Rashford. Oh, no, it's alright. It's not my fault. It's my fault, that is. I think if I had to pick between Mings and Harry Maguire, I'd pick Mings because at least he's got recovery pace. You know, I don't actually think Mings is that good. But I just think he's got recovery pace, which I think in the modern game, you've got to have it. A centre-back's got to have it. St Maximin went very close there. Well, there might be a sending off here in the Spurs game. I don't know what's going on. There's a player gone down in the Spurs game. Is Eric Dyer injured for Spurs? Because that, to be fair, that could be a reason they're playing so shit defensively. There won't be. I don't think Bentancur has elbowed Says at all. I think he might get a yellow card, but I doubt it. I doubt he'll get anything more. No, there's no yellow cards. Arsenal win their 2 games in hand over Chelsea and then beat Chelsea, which was supposed to be yesterday. They'd be in 3rd, says Aiden. I don't think Arsenal, West Ham, Man United, Spurs, Wolves are beating Chelsea, Liverpool or Man City, to be honest. I don't think that's where they're going to get top 4. I think top 4 will come down to can you beat the teams in the bottom half, which is what United have struggled to. Mings may be average, but at least he's consistent, says Matty, Red Devil. Hazard or Salah, says Zar. Definitely. Oh my God, there's a picture of a bomb as well. Salah. Ronaldo's just. I'm not talking about Ronaldo. Zach says Maguire is better than Mings. Stop overreacting. It's 1-1 in the Villa game. 1-1. It's Watkins and Villa have equalised. We weren't looking. Let's watch it back. Nice little ball. Coutinho with the back heel. Digne crosses. He's on. He's going to be onside. He is going to be onside. They're going to review it, but I think that, again, it's another marginal. We don't like these VAR rules, but he's on the back post, but I think he's onside as it deflects. Would it be offside anyway? Mar Reddy says he thinks it's offside. Checking the goal. Possible offside. Slow Sports News. Is it offside? Slow Sports News. Yellow tie. VAR. Oh, I tell you what. They need to go back a bit there. That ball's moved from his foot. The angle of the grass, he might be off. Yeah, that's where they need to do it from. I can't tell you whether that's offside or not because it's bloody close. To me, that should be given. They're the sort of goals that should be given, really. I believe Moyes picked Zuma for top 4 race. It's a very silly move because Zuma is going to start making mental errors which will cost them top 4, says Liam Edwards. There's something going off in the Wolves game as well. I think there's a yellow card. But we're just waiting to see if this goal is a Villa. He's onside. Or is he offside? He's offside. He's offside. Speed. He's offside. Villa goal is going to be offside. Well, I've just tweeted my thoughts here. Basically, it's marginal, and therefore it is offside. I've not changed the score anyway. It's marginal, so therefore it's not offside. But I think if you're on VAR and it's taking you longer than a minute to figure out it's offside, just give the fucking goal. Like, nobody wants goals offside because of a bloody toenail. And I thought that they'd sorted that out. If not Eric Ten Hag, would Donny van der Beek stay for third season with us? As we all know what happened to Jesse, says Pratic. No, I think if Donny's playing regular football for the for Everton, then he will want to go. Bit of a chat going on in the chat. Well, it's all about opinion. Some people will say offside's offside. Some people will say that's not what offside should be about. I personally would say that if that had been a goal against United, I'd be celebrating my head off because I'd have thought it would have been a goal. But I just don't think that we should be having offsides for that sort of thing. I think, there should be, it's an entertainment sport, isn't it? And we should want goals to be scored. And there's no skill in that offside from Newcastle. It's just luck. He's running out, he's running in, and he's offside by what? A centimetre? To me, that's not what we're here for. But obviously, technically, offside is offside. But I don't want technically offside is offside. I would like to have a bit of a advantage. Years ago, it used to be if you were level, you were on. But it's really embarrassing when Hasenhüttl highlights our problem of shoulders dropping, bad passing and exploit the midfield when asked about the draw, says Vebaf. Yes, it is. It is. Spurs are doing a lot better second half, but they won't get 2 goals against Wolves, I'm afraid. Still 1-0 in the Burnley game. They've done well to keep it to 1-0 against Liverpool. Didn't get your answer on Friday. Top 5 comedy films, says Daniel Kirk. I don't know, Daniel. I'm not in that mindset, to be honest. I'm rubbish on top 5 films anyway. I don't know. I like There's Something About Mary. There you go. That would probably be in my top 5. Good run by Son. But Wolves defending well. Paddy says technically it was offside. Well, it wasn't technically offside. It was offside. It's just whether you want those sort of things. Whether you want VAR taking 2 minutes to decide it was offside by a centimetre. It's whether you want that in football or not. It was offside. No one can argue with that. It's whether you want that to be offside. For me, I think there should be a limit. If you can't figure out it's offside within a couple of checks, then give the goal. Speeds the game up. Everyone's off the same page. Another injury in the Newcastle game. Keepers are down now. They've lost their 2 fullbacks. Might be losing their keeper here. Iffy, I'm not talking about it. Thanks for the super chat. There's no point. It's just fanning the flames of knobheads on social media. I'm not talking about a player being trending on Twitter because somebody on Twitter's decided that they've done something that there's no evidence for. You know what? I'm just not fanning the flames of it anymore. It's ridiculous. I think it's stupid and highlights what a dangerous world we live in, that people can just be wrongly accused of things that there's no evidence that they've done. It's disgusting. Good shot by Wolves, just wide by Altnouri. Saliso at Southampton, centre-back option. He's got potential, says Sean Turner. Bergwijn's come on for Mora with 20 minutes to go. Villa, 20 minutes to go, still losing. Super Bowl Sunday. Yeah, Super Bowl Sunday. Tonight on That's Football. We're live for the Super Bowl. But it's not just the Super Bowl. It's the whole experience. It's the drinking. It's the eating. It's the chat. Looking forward to it. on this channel. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right hand corner. Please do subscribe, actually. We're only 300 away from 615,000. So get involved with the channel. Everyone's welcome on here. Doesn't matter who you support. Big opinions, big chat, big debates. It's been an interesting Sunday so far. 3 teams winning to 0. Burnley winning 1-0. No, they're not. Liverpool winning 1-0 against Burnley. Villa losing 1-0 to Newcastle. And Wolves beating Tottenham 2-0. 2 away wins at the moment. Have you seen the Muller stuff? Sam, says Jed. No. I don't know what you're talking about. Muller light? Oh, there's a tweet out there that Thomas Muller has been accused of animal cruelty. It's just weird, isn't it, how these footballers are being out. Super Bowl today, Mark. Are you excited? And go Bangles. Says Joe. I'm really looking forward to it. I enjoyed the stream last year, so I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, it's an event. It's a it only happens once a year, so I'm looking forward to it. Tune in tonight, 11 o'clock on this channel. Even if you're just going to watch the first half an hour before you go to sleep, it's well worth a watch. Matip or Varane? Well, I'll put it to the chat phase. It's not always about me. There you go. Either or, put up suggested there. Get voted in the chat. Matip or Varane? Wolves will be level on points with us. We're actually finished, says Daniel Kirk. No, they're not. You've given them 6 points for a win, mate. They're not level with us. 3 points behind us. They got a game in hand, but they're 3 points behind us. Stats on the Burnley-Liverpool game, if you are interested. Liverpool have had 10 shots, but Burnley have had 8. Burnley have had more shots on target. So Burnley have played really well today. But they're not going to get the draw. Do you think Maguire would get into Newcastle or Villa's team? Said James. Yeah, I don't think he's that bad, mate. I don't think he's that bad. Leon Bailey's coming on for Villa. For and Ings is coming on as well. You can sign anyone for United, past or present. Who you signing, says Frank. Dyke. Roy Keane can come back for a start. Are we going to get a goal in any of these games in the second half? We've had no goals in the second half. Most anticipated fixture for the rest of the season, Dylan. I think if Liverpool keep winning, Liverpool-Man City is going to be very interesting. Is that in April? United-Arsenal is an Audi version. Lovely run here by... Son. Foul here for Villa to whip a cross in. That Joel Linton's done quite well for Newcastle in the midfield, hasn't he? I don't think anybody saw that one coming, but he's been quite a decent left-sided midfielder for Newcastle. He played well against United as well, just before Christmas. I've got another one to do as an either or. I'll whack one in, but Varane has won with 70% of the vote against Matip. I didn't need to get involved in that, thank God. I've got another one for you now. Either or. Vote in the chat. I don't know which way this one will go. It's Trent or Reece James. It's in the chat for you to vote. Whoops! I did it again. Whoops! I was looking at table as things stand. We're still finished though, says Daniel Kirk. Well, Arsenal are the team. Arsenal are the team to watch. Arsenal and West Ham. That's what United need to be worried about. I don't think we need to be worried about Spurs. Well, I actually think United will beat Spurs at Old Trafford next month. People are saying March is a hard month. I don't think it is. Well, it is. Liverpool and Man City, but I think we'll beat Spurs. Oh, just wide there by, I think it was Kulevski. Newcastle games have been really stop-start. Still stopped. There's emergency in the crowd again at Newcastle. They seem to get a lot at Newcastle, don't they? Or is it? Or maybe I'm wrong on that. I don't know. Same Miasi, thanks for the super chat. Um, 3,000 votes, 70% Trent, 30% Reece James. There you go. He's won it. I've done a top 4 race combined 11 before, mate. So about 15 minutes to go in both games. Newcastle, Villa 1-0 up. Burnley losing to Liverpool 1-0. And Spurs at home to Wolves losing 2-0. That is a good one. I'll do another one. Because these games are really stop-start. So either or. On the Super Bowl tonight, I'm going to do not just football. I'm going to do films and all sorts. So what was it? What were we going to do? Oh, yeah. Did we do this the other day? I can't remember whether we did it the other day. Fabinho against Rodri. Oh, I think we might have done it before. Well, Villa have done all the attacking here. Newcastle really need the win, but they're defending well. Arteta is better than Conte, says Dave. Well, Dave, you've sort of exposed yourself there, really, because you've sort of defeated yourself, because if you're saying that Arteta's better than Conte, I remember Arteta in his early days at Arsenal, and there was Arteta out t-shirts. So, you know, Conte's only been at Spurs for 3 or 4 months. So, you know, maybe Arteta is better than Conte at the moment, but if you want to be comparable, your fans were printing t-shirts to sack Arteta after his first few months. So, yeah, you're probably right, and you're probably coming from a good place, but Conte needs to be given time. I just think from Spurs' point of view, you've dropped 6 points at home in 2 games. It's crap. Any good films I've watched recently? I watched... it was only out in the cinema a few weeks ago. It was on Disney. Disney seemed to get quick releases on films, you know. They had that Last Duel or something like that with Matt Damon. That was really good. The Kingsman, which was a prequel, I watched it last night. It was quite good, but... It was good, but there was no real connection with the first films. I mean, it was set 100 years before it, I suppose. Not going to be, is there? Whenever a poll is made to do with a Liverpool player, all Liverpool fans' ears perk up and flock to it, no matter how stupid they make themselves look, says Kian. Yeah, but there used to be the Arsenal thing. Arsenal fans used to do it. I mean, I'd expect Fabinho to beat Rodri because there's not many Man City fans, and he has. 56% have voted for Fabinho over Rodri. That's the problem Man City have got. I don't think they'll win many polls because... Here we go then. Let's prove the point. People have asked me to do this one before, so this is going to be interesting because it is City against Liverpool. Probably spelt it wrong, but it's Edison against Allison in the chat. Get voting. 10 minutes to go in both games. Who's going to get the winner? Well, no one, because they're already winning. But who's going to get a goal? We've done Kent versus Goldbridge, and Goldbridge won. Did it on Wednesday night. Oh, God, they brought Emerson on. Oh, my God. They brought Emerson on. Please subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner, we're getting close to 615,000. Get involved with the chat. You're very welcome on That's Football. Not club-specific. Everybody's welcome on here, so just get involved in the chat. We've got 10 minutes to go. Liverpool are still beating Burnley 1-0. And we've not had any goals in the second half, actually. Grazzo v Ndia, says Ben. You've got to really know to know. God, Spurs are a hard watch, aren't they? They really are. It must be a killer to watch Spurs. Be a massive win for Villa, for Newcastle against Villa, though. I mean, I think Villa have been the better side second half, definitely, but they just can't get the goal. Well, they did get the goal. It was offside, wasn't it? A lot of medical emergencies recently. Wonder why, and I'm sure you're smart enough to know, says Sam. Personally, Sam, I think there's a lot of medical emergencies now because the protocols have changed within the ground. Maybe do your research. There used to be a lot of medical emergencies and the game would continue, but there's been a change in the protocols now. So that Kingsman gave me too much anti-Scottish vibes, so I did not enjoy it, says Daniel Kirk. And Smarties versus M&M's, says Andrew. I do like M&M's, I do. I like M&M's, I've got to be honest. And he's going to be doing the halftime show on the Super Bowl today. Voldemort's just been booked. Kiss me with the... No, I'm not singing anymore. Not going to sing anymore. It's not fair. Hi Mark, if Real Madrid buys both Mbappe and Haaland, do you think they would work great together? Well, it's difficult to know, isn't it, Crix? Because Real Madrid do have a history of buying Galacticos and it doesn't work. So you've got to build a team. You can have the two best strikers in the world, but if you haven't got a good midfield and defence, you won't win. You won't win anything. You've got all the best teams win by building teams, and that's what Real Madrid need to do. But Barcelona and Real Madrid won't be in the doldrums for long because their obsession is not to be like that. I have watched the book about Boba Fett Ice Bank, and I didn't. You nearly caught... Well, you didn't nearly catch me. It was quite clever. Harry Potter or Pirates of the Caribbean, which do you prefer? God, I don't like Pirates of the Caribbean, Lay. So, Harry Potter. Harry Potter. Danny Ings doesn't look very happy, does he? Jimenez is coming off for Wolves. They're going to get 3 big points here. And they're going to deserve it. I think Villa have been a bit unlucky, but, you know, when you're down there at the bottom like Newcastle are. Drogba or Berbatov, says Vinbara. Drogba. Easy. Easy. Even as a United fan, it's easy. Drogba was just a pain in the backside. For a few years, he was an absolute pain in the arse. I didn't like him. A bit like I didn't like Lampard, but, you know, now that they've retired and stuff, you've got to say that it's not even a poll to do Drogba against Berbatov. Like, there is no comparison. Drogba was just on a different level. Probably a bit underrated, Drogba, actually. For somebody so big, he was quick and he had great technique. Yeah, but I can't put it on at the moment.
No, it's already on.
Okay. Finish the poll. It's close. I tell you what, it's close, but it's still been won by Liverpool. 5,000 votes, and Alisson has won by 52% to 48% against Edison. Good one. Well done. It was closer than I thought because Man City don't have many fans. Yeah, so Spurs' next game is Man City next Saturday, so they're going to have 3 losses in a row. Who do you think had a better passing vision and technique, Scholes or Pirlo? I would say Scholes over a longer range and Pirlo over short range. What do you think about Barca's Aroa being linked to Man United, says Ahmed? I'm not bothered. Mate, you could tell me we're linked to Haaland and I wouldn't give a shit. I'm past keep giving a shit about United being linked to signings in the summer or managers. I personally just think it's constant spin. I'm bored of it, and I don't think a new manager or a couple of big signings is going to make any difference. And you know, if you want to get excited about it, please do. But I think you're being played. I think the club's a farce. I think they're sinking. I think we're in big trouble. Jonas says Scholes was great, but he got nothing on Pirlo's passing. Well, I've watched Scholes play for most of his career, and his long-range passing, I don't think there's many people better. The way he could drill a pass over 30 yards, just unbelievable. I'd give short-form passing to Pirlo, but this is the thing. People are so thick in the modern game. They're like, if you say he was the better passer, it's like people think a 5-yard pass is the same as a 50-yard pass. They're completely different skill sets. Crossing's different to passing, but it's still a pass. But, you know, you can be the king of the 5-yard pass and not be able to play a 30-yard pass. Like Michael Carrick was brilliant at being able to play accurate 30-yard passes across the ground. There's different ways of passing. Saka or Sancho, says Connor. Oh, God, I'm not doing that. I don't do Saka versus anybody, you'll notice on that. On BT, Hodland Scholes thought Hasenhüttl would be a good appointment as Man United manager due to his closeness to Rangnick. Yeah, it probably would be Gunner Station, but we won't do it because it's not a popular choice. McTominay or Fred, says Daniel Kirk. I'll let the poll do it. I can't even be asked. Anything to do with United at the moment, I can't be bothered. So you can do it. Even if you're not a United fan, McTominay or Fred, you probably give a better assessment, really. 5 minutes added on in the Spurs game, and we've not quite hit the 90th minute in the Villa game. It's still 1-0 to Liverpool in the Burnley game. Got to give credit to Burnley for keeping that so tight, but it's still a loss. I haven't dodged the poll. I just don't have any energy around United at the moment. I don't want to give anybody any praise because they're all a bunch of prats. Some more than others. Good block. Newcastle nearly getting putting the game to bed there. Wolves have defended so well. I knew this game was over at half time. You're not going to score 2 goals against Wolves. Not unless you're a Liverpool or a Man City. You're not going to do it. They're too good defensively, Wolves. I don't know how many goals they've conceded this season, but this game was over the minute that Spurs went 2-0 down, because Wolves this season, they've only conceded 17 goals. They've conceded less than anyone, apart from City, who've conceded 14. So they've got the second best defence in the league. And Spurs think they're going to come back from 2-0 down. It's over! It's over, Spurs! Big win for Newcastle, though, and a big blow to anybody in the bottom 3, because that's 3 wins in a row for Newcastle, and it's took them right out of that relegation battle. And you really got to say, when you look at the league table now, 4 points from safety. 4 points ahead of safety, Newcastle now. Norwich, Watford and Burnley. What looked like it could have been an interesting relegation battle is looking like being quite boring. Some people said the title race looks boring. I think the title race is looking better than the relegation battle at the moment. Newcastle just pulling away. Is top 4 Arsenal's to lose at this point, Mark? Maybe no proper striker may come to haunt them, maybe. Well, it's not Alex. Oh, I wouldn't go that far. It's not theirs to lose. Fred's won the poll with 56% of the vote to McTominay's 44. It's not Arsenal's to lose because they're not even in 4th, but I do think Arsenal are favourites. For it. Seven minutes added on in the Villa game. Eto'o or Rooney, says Daniel Kirk. Rooney. It's at the Etihad next week, isn't it, Man City? Oh. Spurs. Conte. He's got to be regretting it. Got to be regretting it. How come you don't do Saka versus players? January curious. I just don't, Dylan. I just don't do it because I don't really like doing any Arsenal player in a poll, because Arsenal traditionally, their fans are just. I'm just allergic to Arsenal and polls. Really, it just reminds me of Twitter about 7 years ago. Nani or Mahrez? Mahrez. I think Mahrez is massively underrated, yeah. I do like Mahrez. Remember he won a title with Leicester as well. Wolves top 4, can't see it. Too many difficult games. I can't see Wolves getting top 4, but they've won that game 2-0 against Spurs. Second loss in a row that I've watched them. Apparently Spurs lost before that as well, but they're in big trouble. Big trouble, Wolves. Not Wolves. Spurs. We've still got time. 4 minutes in this game between Newcastle and Villa. I don't know what the final score is. Have Burnley lost? They've lost 3 on the bounce, Spurs. They're going to lose 4 on the bounce because they're playing Man City next Saturday tea time. No one's going to watch that apart from Man City fans because it's the most nailed on 3 points ever. Do not waste your time watching Spurs against Man City next Saturday. No point. Absolutely none. Liverpool won 1-0. Unlucky for Burnley, but I wouldn't have expected them to win. But 1-0 is a better scoreline than I would have thought. Looking like a massive win for Newcastle this. Rode their luck a little bit, although it was offside. I think that could have been a big part of the game if that had been given. But VAR being VAR again. Newcastle should clear that. Don't forget tonight, Super Bowl Sunday. We're live from 11 o'clock. It's going to be epic. It was a brilliant stream last year. It's going to be a brilliant one this year. You don't even need to like American football. Trust me, it will be great. Tune in at 11. Make sure you subscribe. Bottom right hand corner so you get your notification. Newcastle should. Well, there's still 2 minutes to go, but they've got the ball. He'll give a free kick there. You can't book someone for that. This ref's a knob. I can't stand referees who book people for things that's not a yellow card. This isn't a yellow card. That's not a yellow card. St Maximin's lost the ball and Leon Bailey runs into him. That's not a yellow card. It's just fucking shit refereeing. I can't. Pawson again, isn't it? Poor. It's a foul. It's not a yellow card. Just because it's late in the game and you want to slow it down and have a breather while you write something down. I can read referees like a book. Gets to the 95th minute and they're like, oh, I'm knackered. I'll give a yellow card. That'll give me a breather. Minute and a half. Good run by St Maximin. Oh, look at this. Gets the shot off as well. I'm not doing West Ham live. No, I've got to do a Super Bowl watch along and I've got to do an 8 o'clock show. So if I do West Ham as well, I'm gonna, like an energy bar that you have every day. Mine's probably down to about 75% at the moment. So I don't want to go and knock it down below 50 before I even start the Super Bowl, which will be going from 11 o'clock till about 3:30 in the morning. So it's going to be a good one. I've cleared my Monday schedule. TUSFC will be on in the afternoon, but I'll be alright by then. He's done another one now, look. Ramsey's been booked. Kiss the early morning. Good win for Newcastle. There's only 10 seconds left. I'm quite surprised, actually. I didn't think Villa would lose. Thanks everyone who's tuned in, by the way. I've really enjoyed the stream this afternoon. It's been a nice little bit of a dress rehearsal ahead of the Super Bowl tonight. And Pawson's a shit ref. Yeah, he's up there. Good win for Newcastle. They've won 1-0. I think they're going to be fine. I think they're going to be absolutely fine. 3 wins in a row. Big win. Takes them comfortably out of relegation. Next season, they're going to spend a lot of money. They're coming. Newcastle next year. The revolution is coming. They're not going down. They're not going down. I don't know how they're not going down because I think they're so lucky. I remember Newcastle halfway through the season. The 19 games had been played and I think they had something like 15 points, maybe even less. Must have been less. And I was like, you can't not go down halfway through the season when you've got that many points. But the reason Newcastle are going to stay up is because they're very lucky that Watford, Norwich and Burnley are shit as well. I think any other season, how many points Newcastle had halfway through the season, they would have been in big trouble. But the problem is there's teams around them that are worse. They had 12 points after 19 games, apparently. This is Aya. That's amazing, really. But the reason they're safe is because so many teams around them are shit as well. Thanks everyone for watching. Tonight on this channel, make sure you subscribe, bottom right hand corner. We're going to be live at 11 o'clock. The match starts at 11:30. The Super Bowl, it's going to be absolutely fantastic. I can't wait for it. And I hope you're going to join with me as well. It will be high energy. You've got to pump it up. You've got to pump it up for the Super Bowl. I'll speak to you then. 8 o'clock on the United Stand as well. And then 11 o'clock here. Speak to you all in a bit. Enjoy the rest of your evening and day. And I'll catch you in a bit. Thanks for watching.